Pleasant Tuesday morning to you. It's about 3.5 minutes after the hour. Let's check the forecast today. We'll begin with midday with over the eastern half of the country looking good. All complements of high pressure. We'll find sunny conditions to the south, variably cloudy conditions to the north, but you will find some breaks in the clouds from Minneapolis to Chicago and even around Cleveland. We are waking up to a little bit of light snow this morning in Cleveland, but that will be tapering off as all that energy moves out to the east and will return to partly cloudy conditions. Out west, though, we have a disturbance moving through the central Rockies, increasing rains and snows here. Also, with another system over the Pacific Northwest and a persistent northwest flow, it's going to be wet today in the Olympic Peninsula and even along the northern coast of Oregon. The northeast, though, looking good. Another sunny day in New York and Philadelphia, Boston, and the nation's capital. Again, a little bit of light snow is swinging through the eastern Great Lakes this morning. Should not amount to all that much. Afternoon highs today in the 30s, so we have the cold core air sliding across the east. So it might be a little chillier today in Boston and New York than yesterday, but not much colder. We'll find 40s around the nation's capital and even Richmond, Virginia. Wall-to-wall sunshine to the south. Houston to Dallas, New Orleans, Atlanta, even Miami should have a nice day today. No organized areas of precipitation. With sunshine, highs in the 70s across central and south Florida and Texas. Elsewhere, we'll find 60s. Again, variably cloudy to the north. We will find some breaks in the clouds, though, as they move across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana. But it's still going to be fairly chilly here with highs only in the 30s in Milwaukee and Detroit and Chicago. But we'll find 40s for places like St. Louis and Omaha and even near Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But then 50s will build in Chadron, Nebraska today. That's a look at the forecast for today, but what about the rest of the week? Well, stay with us because Bruce is coming up next and he will extend the outlook for you right after this.
Got your pearls on?
And the Skiers forecast is sponsored by Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car. As we turn to the satellite picture in detail, the systems that have moved through, one pushed off northeastern seaboard about 36 hours ago. It mainly brought the rain. And then yesterday we have these clouds building in, and they're still filling across the central parts of New York, and we have had reports of a little bit of light snow with these. As we check on the ski resort reports, Sugarloaf reporting loose granular conditions. They have about 12 trails that are open. Loose granular at Hunter Mountain, New York. And there you see the latest information we've received from Smuggler's Notch, Vermont, with 4 trails there, and Stratton, Vermont, reporting loose granular conditions. And the forecast doesn't call for a whole lot of snow as a little disturbance moves through the northeast. We'll find a little bit of light snow in central New York, but again, not amounting to all that much. Sunshine returns tomorrow for all of the northeast, including the mountains, and actually we will find a colder air building in, so ski making or snow making conditions are pretty nice, so skiing should be still underway for most of the ski resorts in the northeast right on through Thursday. Well, that's a look at the skiing conditions over the east. Stay with us, especially if you have a business trip planned today. We have a special forecast for you coming up next. A look at the traveling conditions across the country. National radar shows a little bit of light snow developing over central New York and Pennsylvania. We don't think that this will aid in bringing many travel problems this morning. Radar shows echoes in central Missouri, but these are not touching the ground, so no problems with the wet roadways in central Missouri. Just false echoes here. In Southern California, though, around the LA Basin, Burbank reporting some light rain, so you might want to be very, very careful if you have travel plans in the southern parts of the Golden State. Again, no big problems over the east as high pressure is really the controlling weather factor. Wintry travel out west with the system pulling out of the Pacific Northwest into the central Rockies. Snow will be found all the way to central Utah. And very foggy this morning with residual low-level moisture in eastern Washington. We have visibility to less than 1/2 of a mile near Yakima, Washington, and along the coast of Oregon. Be careful. At a And the upper air winds really do steer the storm systems at the surface. Now, with this system moving out of the central Rockies, it will push into the plain states tomorrow, and we'll find the wet weather here. And then as we go through time of the weekend, all of it heads for the eastern seaboard as we begin to see the jet stream flattening out across the west. Let's check on the temperatures and see how they will change as we change configuration of the jet stream. Well, it remains fairly mild to the south, 50s, 60s, and the 70s, and even to the north, no very cold air anywhere. Actually, it warms up on Thursday with 40s for afternoon highs in southern Minnesota near Minneapolis and around Wisconsin, Milwaukee too. Friday, no huge changes, and even Saturday we begin to see a subtle warming trend along the front range of the Rockies with 50s all the way to southwest South Dakota. Dry for the eastern seaboard by midweek, but we'll be watching low pressure as it spills into the plains tomorrow. Showers from Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas. This will all advance east into the lower Mississippi River Valley Thursday, continues in its progression to the east Friday and Saturday as it follows the jet stream, so looks like it's going to be wet for the east coast. And out west is our Michelin travel trouble spot because it's fairly dry over the east. So if you have travel plans, say from the Continental Divide all the way to the East Coast, it's looking good today, but you will run into some problems out west. Now, we have had reports of a little bit of light rain in Southern California near Burbank and L.A. We don't think that will last all that long, but certainly it'll make for a little slick and damp conditions on the roadways, allow a little extra driving time. The biggest problem, though, we think will be in the mountains and in some of the higher elevations where the snow will be a big problem. As a matter of fact, if you have travel plans on Interstate 80 across northern Utah, be prepared for the wintry travel. We're watching another little disturbance over the extreme Pacific Northwest. Rain can be heavy here, so Highway 101, western Washington and Oregon will give you problems. Watch out for the snow, though, and kind of windy here today, too. And a very pleasant Tuesday morning to you. It's about 3.5 minutes after the hour. You're just in time for a look at the forecast today. The east looking good. High pressure is the controlling weather feature here. We'll find partly cloudy to clear skies for most of the east, especially the south from Florida all the way to Texas. You shouldn't find many clouds today to give way to mostly sunny conditions for most of this area. We'll be watching the system out west, though, with increasing rains and snow in the Wasatch Front of Utah, and as it pushes out into the western parts of Colorado, we'll find snow working its way into the central Rockies. In time, this whole system will move into the plains. That's by tomorrow, but today the plains should be dry and fairly warm on the heels of southerly winds. The system will move away, so the light rain we have seen in Southern California will be ending later this morning, but rain will be increasing over the Pacific Northwest. As this system moves east, it will allow room for this next one to come on in, so it's going to be wet. Be careful on Highway 101, western Washington and Oregon. The northeast, though, looking good today. Another partly sunny day from Portland and Boston, and then plain old sunshine as you head south to New York City and Philadelphia, even around the nation's capital. Winds blowing over the eastern Great Lakes here. A little bit of light snow we have seen this morning in central New York and northwest Pennsylvania. 1 to 3 inches, nothing very heavy, and certainly not widespread, not even as widespread as we had yesterday, with highs in the 20s over northern New England, 30s from New York to Boston, but look at the 40s as you head south to our nation's capital and even around Richmond, Virginia. Wall-to-wall sunshine for the south, including Daytona, Tampa and Miami. New Orleans looking good today. Highs in the 70s again around Houston with mostly sunny conditions. Highs in the 50s for Dallas, and over to Atlanta. We should reach about 60 degrees today. You know, you got up to 66 degrees yesterday in Atlanta. That's pretty nice. Well, the sun will be playing peekaboo with the clouds today across the Midwest, we think, but the air will certainly be cold with highs not getting out of the 30s for Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, and Detroit.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
Shows a little bit of light snow in central New York and also the western parts of Pennsylvania as we have the northwest winds blowing over. Nothing very heavy, enough to perhaps put a little bit of light snow on the roadways, so be very careful here. Other than that, we don't have any problems in the plains and the rest of the east. False echoes in eastern parts of Missouri, and we've had a little bit of light rain in Southern California. So rainy travel here, and as low pressure pulls out into the central Rockies, will spread snow in the mountains. If you have travel plans in northern Utah, the higher terrain, western Montana and Idaho, be prepared for some wintry conditions, and also the winds may exceed some 30 miles an hour. These will be south winds from the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma all the way to Minnesota. No problems with fog in the nation's heartland or the east coast. Well, we do have some dense fog, though, out west in the valleys of Washington and northern California.
They're giving away Kellogg's.
As we go about 25,000 miles above the Earth's surface to see how the clouds have progressed over the last 24 hours. You know, we always turn to the clouds first because they really tell the story. We have fair skies, though, across the south from Texas all the way to Mississippi and Louisiana. Clear skies here, actually. Just some high-level, cirrus, thin clouds moving through east Alabama and the extreme western fringes of Georgia. And these clouds we have moving through Missouri and Illinois. Now, they'll make for partial sunny conditions this afternoon, but we do not have enough lift in the atmosphere to make these clouds produce any precipitation. So I think the bark is a little bit better than the bite on a satellite picture in Missouri and Illinois. But the system out west, well, this one is really getting its act together. We'll spread the snow from the mountains of Utah into Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. We'll find rain in the valleys, so it's going to be a little damp for you, and inclement weather building over the central Rockies. So if you have travel plans out west, prepare for that. We've even had a little bit of light rain this morning in Southern California. Light rain been reported right now near Riverside and San Diego. We're watching another system just right on the heels of this one. You can see it pushing into the Pacific Northwest. It will bring rain this morning and later this evening over the Olympic Peninsula. The northeast, though, again, just some high-level clouds building through. We have northwest winds blowing over the lakes here. The lakes are not frozen, so we're still picking up some of the moisture and then depositing that moisture in the form of snow. It's been very light, though, around Syracuse and even Binghamton, New York. Other than that, it's going to be a fairly decent day from Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, our nation's capital, and Atlantic City. All of the big cities along the coast should find partly sunny conditions today. We're waking up to 35 in Boston, 37 in New York, 35 in Philly. Remember yesterday we had highs in the upper 40s. Today it will be a little bit chillier as the center of the high pressure system is moving a little bit closer to the region, and that means we're getting the cold core air over the area, but still you should find quite a bit of sunshine today. Wall-to-wall sunshine over the southeast. You better believe that. Dallas, you'll be up to 60 degrees today. Right now checking in with 41, 48 in Houston, and you'll be in the 70s today, you know, like yesterday. Atlanta 41, 37 in Jacksonville, Florida, so kind of chilly across the northern parts of the Sunshine State, but you'll find abundant sunshine throughout the afternoon, really living up to your reputation. High pressure to the north, but we think we'll keep some low clouds throughout the day around Minneapolis, Chicago, maybe some breaks in the clouds, the same in San Diego. Had a little bit of light rain there and near Riverside, so parents, you might want to include the umbrellas in the backpacks, even though we haven't had any heavy rain or thunderstorms or anything. Just very, very light. Should be ending, actually, as we go through the next couple of hours, but we will spread the snow in the central Rockies, and rain will be increasing over the Pacific Northwest and western Washington and Oregon. The coats and the scarves and the gloves will be needed, too, with temperatures, well, only in the 30s for the Great Lakes. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago, and South Bend in Indiana. There you see the 40s. 60s, only mild across the south, but still a little chilly, so the sweater's probably needed here. Good morning, 23 minutes before the hour. Time now for waking up weather. Well, let's see what we're waking up to. We'll find much of the same today, and perhaps the trajectory of the winds will be a little farther north, so it'll spread snow in central New York, oppose the extreme western parts of the state. And we've had some light snow crossing over northern Vermont this morning, too. These clouds are representative of a very, very weak upper air disturbance moving through central Missouri, and we have had reports of light freezing drizzle about 20 miles north of Vichy, Missouri. We don't think this will be moving into St. Louis and the big metro area, but be careful if you're traveling in the central parts of Missouri this morning. Again, this is a very weak disturbance, as we think it will be dissipating as it continues to move east.